Okay, so today wasn't so great. Um, like I said, today has not been great. But whilst thinking about the idea of a video today, I thought that I would sit here and teach you chess. I would like to teach you in person and hopefully I get to do so, but if I don't, this will be a video of me teaching you how to play chess, one of my favourite games. Now, before I teach you how to play chess, here's a couple questions that I'd probably ask. I got taught chess by two people. One was my younger sister's dad, Richard, and one of my uncles called Uncle JC. Two very smart people in very different ways, and they played very differently. And when I got taught how to play, they kind of taught me together, and it was quite amazing to see their different ways of playing and actually how I adapted it into my way of playing. When I started to play chess, I'd play it at school, and I was really good. I got the knack for it really quick, which was kind of weird for me because I wasn't really good at a lot of things. But chess was one of those things I picked up straight away. I used to play with my teachers, and I was always really convinced that they would actually let me win. And the more that I'd win, the more I realised actually they're not letting me win. They just couldn't win against me because I was really good at it. I learned chess, I think I was probably about 9. And when I was about 12 or 13, I actually got taught that my granddad, so your great granddad, was actually a chess grandmaster. He had loads of trophies for it and everything. I've only ever played him once, and I believe it was a stalemate because I don't remember winning, nor do I remember him winning. And I feel like that's something I would have remembered. Nevertheless, he was a really good chess player. Okay, so let's get to the game. You have the way I'm going to break it down to you, you have your pawns, which are your foot soldiers, they're right at the front. Then you have your three specials, right? Your castle or rook, your knight or horse, your bishop or, I think actually I might own or bishop or, well, I don't know what this is called, but the bishop is what I call it. And you'll have that mirrored on the other side, right? That's how you set up. So 2 castles on the corner, then your horses bringing in the middle, then your bishops, and then right in the middle you have your king and your queen. And at the front will be all your pawns laid up right at the front. And it'll be the same either side. Now we'll start with what I think is probably the more confusing out of the most, which is the pawn. The pawn only moves forward. On the first go, on its first go, it can go 2 times, it can jump twice if you'd like. But normally it would only go 1 forward. 1 space forward. Now, after it comes up its first spot, you can choose to go twice or once. But once it's off that starting point, it only goes forward once and it can only move forward. Unless there is a piece that is diagonal to the opposing piece that you're going to move. If they come straight ahead, both of them, they cannot move into each other. But if something is on a diagonal, the pawn can take. Only diagonal. Now, the best things about pawn is its potential. It doesn't do much, and most of the time people use it as a sacrifice. But what you need to understand is that if you get this wee little pawn to the end of the board, it can transform into a queen, which is arguably the best piece on the board. Now, for the special pieces, you have a castle. Now the castle moves forward, backwards, left and right. That's it. It's only 1 forward movement or 1 backwards or 1 left or 1 right. Yeah, it can do as many spaces as you want, but only in one direction. And it can go forward, back, left or right. Pick one. It can move as many as it can until either it takes out a piece or reaches the end of the board. The horse is arguably a little bit confusing, but it goes in about an L shape, right? It goes 3 and then 1 to the left, or right, or up, or down. But majority, it's an L shape. If you Google it, it might make it a little easier for you to understand visually. I can't really show you too great on here because it's glass. You will probably have this chessboard when you are older. But yeah, it's an L shape. You move 1, 2, 3, and then 1 to the right, or 1, 2, and then 1 to the right, or to the left, or up, down, wherever. But it's an L shape. The bishop is diagonal, so it stays on the square it is. So if it's on a black space, it will always be on a black space. If it's on a white space, it will always be on a white space. And it can go diagonal. The king the way you got to think of the king is, like most kings are, he's very fat and he's very lazy. But unfortunately, we rely on him to do our bidding. So, he can only move one space, but as the king, he can move anywhere he wants, but only one space. Now, the queen is almost like the king, but she puts in a lot of work. She can move any space, so she can move diagonal, she can move up, down, left, right, but she cannot move in an L shape like the horse. But she can move as many times as she wants. And that's it. That's how chess pieces move. Now, the aim of the game is to take out the opposing person's king. Once you take that out, you've won. And obviously, whilst doing so, you need to protect yours. The whites always go first. In this case, this is clear and these are cloudy, so the clear ones will go first. Normally playing more aggressive, and the darks or the blacks would normally play more defense, just because the whites have one step ahead. They're an advanced move ahead, basically, so they have a little bit of the upper hand on the attack. From here, it is your game to play and get good at. But there is one tip I would tell you if you ever want to really play chess. I learned how to play chess. I learned the basics. I learned the instruments of chess. But I never learned how to really play chess. Not like the professionals do anyway. And I think because of that, I was able to look at a chessboard in a very different way from a person that would learn certain moves or certain strategies. And I would probably advise you to do the same, and not just with chess, but with life. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain this in the best way possible and try to help you understand what I'm trying to say. Here's a Rubik's Cube, and I will probably have put a video up at one point of helping you or showing you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. It's very simple. I haven't put up a video yet, but I most likely will in the future. But here is what I'm trying to get at. So, when you solve a Rubik's Cube, you start with a cross on the bottom, and then you fill these little slots of twos, right? Now, when I started to learn how to do this, it was always algorithm based, which means that if I saw a set in a certain way, I could close my eyes and I could do an algorithm and it would solve it, right? So I solved these two right here, right? Because I saw that the thing. And then I could slot it in, and then you can get this little bit here, right? Now it was always algorithm based, which means that if I didn't know the algorithm, I could not solve that thing. And I saw that very quickly, and actually I never learned algorithms. As I was learning it, I was like, hold up, what's the point in that? And I learned a different way, which is basically doing it intuitively, which means that no matter what I see, I can solve it. And this helps because even though learning the algorithms is quote unquote faster in the sense of how fast I can learn it, doing it intuitively, so learning every little bit about it, even though it takes longer to do, actually in the long run makes it a lot easier. So if you do chess like I do that Rubik's Cube, you'll find yourself easily winning in majority of games until you get to, the very higher levels of chess. And people won't know what you're doing because they're going to be sticking to the algorithms. They're going to be sticking to what they know. And if you can do it intuitively, you'll be able to outsmart them every time because they don't know what you're doing and they won't see it coming because it's not algorithms they're acknowledging. That may not make full-on sense to you, but I promise you, the more you play chess without these moves or these set regulations, the more you'll come to understand it. There's one more story that I'd like to tell you, and that is of playing chess for the last time with my sister's dad. I had been playing for about a month at this point, and I'd been losing consistently. And we got down to a point where I think it was a king and a pawn, and my sister's dad had just his king. And I trapped him into a corner, but he said that the stalemate happened because he moved so many times. And now I don't believe this to be true at all, but I think what he didn't want to admit is that I was really good, very quick, and I was a kid that beat him. It upset me because instead of saying well done and that he was proud, he kind of got a bit envious. And so I want to say to you, I mean, you'd probably only be watching this if I go quite early. So if that is the case, just know, no matter what you do in your life, that I will always be proud. Always. Even if the smallest things, I will always be proud of you. No matter what. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Oh, and look after my chess set. I like this chess set. Okay.